This is Dolmany TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And well, this is the second upload already, so what are we getting at? Well guys, if you missed the first upload of the day, you would have missed me talking about what the bottom six may or may not look like based on all 27 forwards the Edmonton Oilers have signed to a contract at this point. That's number one. So that was what we were talking about earlier today. And well, brings up a lot of questions, right? Obviously, what does the top six look like? How does that determine what the bottom six looks like? How do you shape a bottom six with that many bodies that could potentially make it? All those questions were in play this morning, and well, we discussed it quite well. Now I want to discuss a simple fact of what the top six could be capable of producing. And with that, what I'll do is I'll go back to what the top six produced last year for the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, really the top six was only I don't know what to call it right here. I guess we can call Lucic a top six forward. That's where he played most of his time. So Connor McDavid, 116 points in 78 games last season. Leon Draisaitl, 105 in 82 games. Yes, riding coattails a bit, but Leon emerged. You don't score 50 goals because you're a crap goal scorer, just saying. And then you got NugentHopkins scoring 69 in 82. He's looking up. He should be even better this year, especially with a better power play unit. Then you had Alex Chiasson scoring 38 points in 73 games, the next highest rated forward in terms of goal scoring, in terms of point production after that fact, was Zack Kassian with, 26. Zack Kassian had 26 points. That's it. He is our fifth highest rated forward in terms of points, and it was 26 points. Guys, you need to answer the question why we weren't scoring. Well, there you go. That's your number 5 forward scorer has 26 points. Just brutal. And then number 6 was Milan Lucic, 79 games played, 20 points scored. So, shall we get to my top 6 projection? This is just right now, based on today's roster, July 28th. By no means is this what I'm projecting the Oilers' top 6 to look like on September 1st, September 13th, whatever you have it. But this is right now, mathematically and sensibly, what the top 6 for the Oilers looks like. Realistically, based on last year, not a bad go. Neal's a solid lock, Chiasson's a solid lock. Really, it's Kassian up there. What's he doing up there? But maybe there's something to it at, some point this year. So, I did a whole bunch of calculations. 82 CPA, took just last year's stats and translated them over to 82 games and such and such. So this is, if everybody in the top 6 plays all 82 games each, these are the point totals I roughly project we would get out of them. So you've got Draisaitl at 105, you've got McDavid at 121, and Zack Kassian at 35. So yes, realistically, how much of an improvement is this on the top line? Absolutely none. This is no improvement. In fact, this is a regression. Because you got to think Chiasson on the top line scored how many points. And, right, you go around there and do that. Well, that's the tough question. Draisaitl, obviously a big wild card when it comes to, is he going to live up to what he did last year? Is he going to do better? Or is he going to do worse? That's where this line really falls apart. If you're keeping Draisaitl in the top line, left or right wing position, you need him to produce just as well as he did last year, if not better, for us to have that fighting chance at the playoffs that some of us are starting to think might be there with one more move, or maybe just stabilizing the goaltending by letting them play and actually having them do something. One of the two, my friends, one of the two. McDavid, obviously, question is, will he start the year? Well, hopefully. All 82 would be beautiful out of McDavid. 121, is 121 all he can do? Is 121 all McDavid can do? Can he do 130 this year? That's the question. What kind of scoring race is going to shape up for the Edmonton Oilers and for the NHL this year? Is it going to be similar to last year where the scoring just went through the roof all of a sudden and the top guys really had a lot of points, and a few years ago guys were only barely breaking 100, suddenly added McDavid at 116, Kucherov even higher? How is scoring going to shape up this year? That is, as I said, the question the NHL will answer for itself as the games get played. Now, the co-star wants up, so hold on, there we go. Let's get Zap up there so she can make sure she visits you guys for a few minutes here. And Zack Kassian, this is, I have him projected at 35 points. This is a tough sell because Zack Kassian is either going to be a top 6 forward all year or a bottom 6 forward all year. That's realistically how I view it. Because we get a top 6 forward, Zack Kassian no longer fits. Unless you're trying him with Neal and Nuge on that second line, kind of a grit and goal kind of line, right? I mean, that's a great term for it, and I really hope that's the line name we can use if it's Neal, Cass, and Nuge on that second line. But right now, Cass slots in at that right wing, left wing position with Draisaitl and McDavid, and 35 points. That's asking a lot out of Zack Kassian realistically over the course of his career. But at the same point, you play with McDavid and Draisaitl, and you should be able to put up 50-55. Now you imagine Kassian doubles his point production from last year from 26 to 52-55. Guys, we are talking an insane difference for this Oilers team because outside of McDavid and Draisaitl and Nuge, no one scored more than 41 points, and that was our defenseman Darnell Nurse. So you sit there and you look at that, guys. Woo, woo, woo. 55 points out of Zack Kassian. That's music to my ears. Absolutely%. That would be beautiful. Now the second line. The second line is where it gets fun. Because yes, you can say Neal's not going to hit even 30 points. And I just say fair. 100%. That's fair. If you want to come down on Neal and say he's not going to do anything, he's going to crap the bed, what a waste of a trade, might as well buy him out and at least get something for the Lucic deal, have at it. It's all paper right now. You're allowed. It's okay. It's fine. Just don't rule out the other option in which he says that he's ready to do something in terms of a bounce back and then goes out and does it. Don't rule that out. If you're going to go negative, don't rule out the positive. Same thing. If you go positive, don't rule out the negative. So that's why I settled at 42 points for Neal if he plays with Nuge and Chiasson. The reason here being, if you have Nuge and Chiasson supporting Neal in terms of vibing into the Oilers culture, and you have him coming in and trying to make that big difference and get going, well, 42 points is 75% of his career production average over an 82 game span, 82 CPA. I will again throw that number out there at you. And well, after a down year, to bounce back to 75% of your true self over your 11-year career, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. And at 31, a guy should still be capable of that, especially given Neal, considering what he's done over his career. Nuge, this is the wild card on the second line. Chiasson's not as much. I'll get to that in a second. Nuge is a guy who's looking to emerge, and I went only 1 point higher than he had last year in all 82, 69 and 82. Well, guess what? 70 and 82 should not be a challenge. You consider how the power play might set up with Neal now. You consider Nuge might get some second line time to generate his own buzz. Well, guys, this is where it gets exciting for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because you get competent wingers, right? Not Milan Lucic, not Alex Chiasson on a cold streak after coming off the McDavid line. No, this is a competent second line put together to succeed. Something Ryan Nugent-Hopkins has had very, very little of over the course of his career in Edmonton. 70 points, could be 80, could be 90. Don't get me wrong. If Neal scores 42, Nuge should be able to score 80. If Chiasson scores 43, Nuge should be able to score 80. That's kind of what I'm looking at, right? The power play production with McDavid and Draisaitl is going to be there as well. So don't ask yourself how little Nuge can do. Ask yourself how much Nuge can do. And that brings me to my absolute final point. Guys, I've already talked about all 5 of the 6. The guy that re-signed, the guy that wanted to go nowhere else but Edmonton when free agency opened, and we were like, oh, heck yeah, we'll have you back, Jay. Well, guess what? Alex Chiasson, 43 points. That would be projected 1 point higher than his average over an 82 game season from last year. So, for Chiasson, as I said, if Neal can do it, If Chiasson can stay where he was last year, Nuge is going to benefit so much, and that should rub off on both of the wingers. That should actually boost them up higher, in my opinion. And you guess, if I've got 42-43, that should actually be 50-53. And you imagine, if you've got 105, 121, 55, maybe Kassian. I mean, he is a top 10 pick in the NHL at one draft, so don't get me wrong. Neal at 50, Nuge at 80, and Chiasson at 50. Guys, that we're talking Tampa Bay's 4.0 goals per game from last year. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it how good this top six could be if everything comes together. Now, obviously, I took it back. I played conservative. We'll find out how it works. Guys, what I want to know, am I right on this top six? Obviously, this is just the way it looks for right now. Just for right now. So let me know. Are you suspecting changes? Do you want changes? What kind of thing are you thinking? Is this top six the one that can do it? Like top ceiling, like I said, this ceiling, as I said, or is it kind of somewhere lower and something gonna crap the bed kind of deal? Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Stolen TV. Get at me in the comment section below. I will catch you in the next one.